All right, like I said, it is recorded and it will be shared publicly. We'll place it on the Family Support Center YouTube channel. For English, to access in Spanish, you're going to click interpretation, and that shows the little world symbol on the bottom. And we also have interpretation in Spanish. American Sign Language is also available. We do have an interpreter, Ashley Drumright. And if you need to utilize that service, you can simply find her video, click on Pin Video, and that should make her video visible for the entire presentation. A couple of features we want you to know about Zoom. We'd like this to be an interactive presentation. We have several folks from our department monitoring the chat. That's how we'll be taking questions today. So there is a chat button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and there is a feature where you can chat to everyone or you can chat one of the hosts. Okay, we want a session that's interactive, informative, and engaging. So we ask that you're present, minimize distractions, actively participate. We're going to have several polls and activities to garner your feedback. Use that Q&A or chat feature to ask questions and share feedback. I will let you know that there may be questions that we don't have answers to tonight, but we promise to look into them and get you the answers, and we'll be issuing a Q&A afterwards. So the first thing we're going to do is take a survey. So if, we're going to launch a survey, and you should start seeing it right there on your screens. So we'd like to know a little bit about you and whether you're a parent or a school system employee, and what your student is, an elementary, middle, or high school student. About 10 more seconds.
This is what teacher meetings and conferences are going to be like. You can do this on your phone. You know, you could just say that on your phone.
All right, it looks like most folks have had the opportunity to answer the poll. So a little bit about our agenda and what we expect with our session outcomes. First, we're going to have a director's welcome from Ms. Trinell Bowman, who is our director of the Department of Special Education. And then I'm going to turn it over to the non-public office, who will give an overview of the non-public office, talk a little bit about the non-public schools reopening plans, PGCPS's oversight. We've had lots of questions about technology access and the IEP process as we move into distance learning again. Some tips for parents, and talk a little bit about transportation. And the outcome we want you to have today is that you will discuss and learn about information and tips for families to prepare for the 2020-2021 school year for students that attend non-public schools. All right, Ms. Bowman, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Families, caregivers, community members, thank you for joining us tonight for our second in the series of 4 workshops specifically for parents. So I'm so happy to see that we have over 80 attendees with us this evening. And I just want to give you a few updates regarding the reopening plan. So first, I think I want you to know that you did have representatives both from public and non-public programming parents who were part of the reopening plan for Prince George's County. So the plan consisted of internal members throughout the district as well as external members. And part of those external members were parents like yourself. And so it was very important that we had a cross-reference community members, parents, educators, administrators, principals, district leaders that were part of that reopening plan to really think about the different components. I do want you to know, as part of the reopening plan, there is a section that was written for non-public parents specifically. We're going to go over some of those components this evening with you. And then I also want you to know, again, that there was a non-public parent representative on the reopening plan committee. And so a lot of what you're going to hear tonight is specific to the programs of non-public parents. And so I want to make sure that if there's questions, that you make sure that you raise them, but the team has done a great job with providing you that information. The other thing I want you to know, because some of you have children that are not only attending non-public programs, but you also have children that are part of Prince George's County public school options. And so we want you to know that there is a parent guide coming for Prince George's County parents that will have a special education section specifically that provides feedback, resources, information for you as parents. Even though you may be parents of a non-public student, some of the content that is included in that section will pertain to you. Things such as the IEP process, IEP meetings, parental safeguards, what happens if you are in disagreement with the IEP team, what steps you should take, what are the resources out here to support you. And so that parent guide will be coming soon. So I wanted to let you know of that. I also want you to know that this is the second, again, of the 4-part series for special education parents. Tonight is devoted to non-public. We also have another series that's going to look at the do's and don'ts of distance learning and etiquette. And then our 4th series will look at specific populations and how to support them. And of course, as our non-public parents, you're always welcome to attend those. And then the team will also be doing some additional workshops that will kick off in September. So we'll make sure we update the website so you'll have that information. And you'll hear about another opportunity for you as non-public parents to come together with our non-public office. We have also launched our Department of Special Education website. We've done a remake of that website. And so we have provided that link to you here so that you can go out there and take a look. And then the last update I wanted to share is that we have a social worker. We're so excited who has joined us this week to support our Family Support Center. And so you'll be hearing more from her in the weeks to come and the support that she'll be providing you as parents. So thanks so much for joining us and being with us. And I appreciate you taking the time. And I hope that you find something that you can take away from tonight's presentation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bowman. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Wright, and I'm the supervisor of the non-public office, and I will be taking you through the remainder of the presentation. I'll start with an overview of the non-public office. Keith Blackson is our coordinating supervisor, and again, my name is Anthony Wright. I'm the supervisor of the non-public office. The phone number for the non-public office is 301-618-8360. Our general office hours is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. During distance learning, the office hours for the supervisor and support staff will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. For non-public specialists, it will be Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And for the CIEP office, it will be Mondays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Next slide, please. Continuing the overview of the non-public office, we serve 3 essential functions. Those functions include coordinating program and services, providing case management services, and continuing to support students in their least restrictive environment. In coordinating programs and services, our purpose is to ensure that students with disabilities in non-public programs have access to the general education curriculum to the fullest extent appropriate. In regards to case management, we ensure that services are delivered in compliance with local and state, as well as federal mandates and regulations. As it relates to least restrictive environment, we monitor students in their current environment and help teams determine if students are ready to return to a public program option if necessary, or if they continue to need the supports in a non-public program. Non-public schools reopening plan. Of course, there's been many discussions about schools reopening and when it's appropriate for a school to reopen throughout the state of Maryland. The Maryland State Department of Education has given non-public schools the autonomy to open based on the guidelines within their jurisdiction. So these schools are independent in determining whether they were to open this fall or not, or whether they were going to continue to provide services virtually. In regards to the non-public schools opening plans, actions that PGCPS are taking is we're reviewing opening plans for each school. We're providing feedback as needed in regards to the instructional outcomes and safety measures. We're also asking schools to ensure that they distribute each plan to all stakeholders. We've also asked schools to ensure that there's a virtual only option for students if parents feel uncomfortable with the students actually attending in person. What can you do as a parent? You can ask for a copy of the reopening plan. You should review the reopening plan and ask the administrators any questions that you may have. If you have any concerns about IEP implementation, please contact your child's non-public specialist. Many of you are aware of who your non-public specialist is and the email address for your non-public specialist, but if you are not, don't worry, case management letters are being mailed out. Although the schools have been given autonomy by MSDE, Prince George's County Non-Public Office will continue to support students in non-public schools by managing the IEP process. So we'll participate in IEP meetings and ensure that the IEP is being implemented. We'll also conduct classroom observations and provide feedback to make sure that students are receiving quality instruction. We'll continue to audit related service implementation to ensure that our students are receiving the necessary related services as outlined in the IEP. We'll continue to monitor attendance. Of course, students can't progress if they're not attending to receive the instruction. We'll continue to support schools with course selection and scheduling for each student. We'll also continue to provide agency linkage to families as needed. In some cases, we have to rely on our community agencies to help support families beyond what the student's educational need is. We'll ensure that all non-public schools have access to PGCPS curriculum. And we'll also continue to provide the non-public schools with guidance as it relates to PGCPS and MSDE mandates. Who do you contact for help? If there are programmatic issues, such as scheduling concerns, teaching styles, accessing virtual platforms that are unique to your child's non-public school, curriculum implementation, and curriculum materials, please make sure you contact the non-public school. If there are questions or concerns around the IEP process, IEP implementation, or placement, make sure you contact your non-public specialist. Technology access. PGCPS is committed to ensuring that all students have access to technology to be able to participate in virtual learning. Students who participate in virtual learning will have access to technological resources to support instructional programming. In some cases, non-public schools have provided the device for each kid based on the needs of the student and the programs that they are using. In other cases, students may not have access to the device. If you need a device, you should contact your school and the non-public specialist. PGCPS actions. Again, if the non-public school is not providing the device, technology will be distributed from John Carroll Administration Building by appointment only. What can parents do? You should contact your non-public school and the non-public specialist if you need a device. Remember, if you don't know who your non-public specialist is, case management letters are being emailed out. Again, the office is open on Monday and Wednesdays. You can give us a phone call. However, when the appointment is scheduled, we will provide you specific guidelines to mitigate risks during the appointments. That information will be shared with you via email when the appointment is scheduled.
Anthony, I'm stopping sharing for just a second because I need to add one of the interpreters into the room. So give me one moment.
No problem.
All right, we're good to go. Thank you.
You can go to the next slide, please. Technology support. To resolve problems with accessing and navigating platforms, please contact your child's non-public school. Many of the non-public schools are using a variety of platforms. Each platform requires a license to use, and therefore navigating the platforms will be within the authority of the non-public school. If you are having issues with the actual device issued by Prince George's County Public Schools, Prince George's County has identified several parent centers throughout the county to help support you. This support will start September 1st. In our next slide, these are the schools that will house parent centers. You will go to these parent centers if you are having concerns with PGCPS issued devices, such as logging into the device, downloading an app that is needed, or connecting to the internet. Again, if there is a platform concern that your non-public school is using, you should start with your non-public school first. Additional materials for home. If there is adaptive equipment needed, assistive technology, communication devices, or other specialized material that needs to be provided according to a child's IEP, the provider, in addition to the parent, will identify the needed supports within the first week of school. In some cases, this equipment or devices will need loan agreements, and the loan agreement must be signed before the device is actually issued. We're going to take this time to answer a few poll questions. Question 1, have you received a copy of the reopening plan for your child's non-public school? And question 2, does your child have access to technology? Okay. Well, I'm glad to see over half of our parents have already received reopening plans from the school. Again, you can ask the school for a copy of the reopening plan, and my office will be sure to ask schools to reiterate, to send all stakeholders a copy of the reopening plan. I'm also glad to see that of our participants, about 75% of you all, the children already have access to technology devices. What you should know about the IEP process. Moving forward, there will not be a separate individualized continuity of learning plan. So the ICLPs, they are no longer going to be implemented. We're going to return to implementation of the IEP. With that being said, all IEP meetings will be held via video or audio platform and conducted Monday through Friday. All IDEA timelines will be maintained. However, of course, in the new environment, there are some services that cannot be implemented simply because we're doing distance learning. In those cases, an IEP team will be convened to discuss how the service can be implemented and if the service can be implemented, and determine how to actually move forward as a team. The IEP Amendment Process. In many cases, special education instruction, supports, and accommodations can still be provided, but we just have to do it in a different method. So we'll be using an online classroom instead of face-to-face. This would not require a change to the IEP. However, in some cases, services may need to be provided in other ways than described. If that is the case, we will still need to do an amendment, and the teams will contact you and notify you of the amendment. Parents will definitely have input, and parents will receive a copy of the amended IEP. We're going to take this time to do another poll. And while you all are completing the poll, I really would like to thank you all for participating. This information we use to help shape future presentations, to support you all, and also to support non-public schools. Okay, thank you so much for participating in the poll. So for the first question, my child's experience towards distant learning, 41% reported that their child is tolerating distance learning. I know it's different from the typical face-to-face learning. It's taken us some time to get used to. The second question, your experience in supporting your child during distance learning. 43% has said that it has been challenging. 27% has said average, and 20% has said good, and 10% has said it's been excellent. Looking at the third question, it deals with child's frustration when they are, the child's response when they are frustrated academically. And so we see a variety of responses there. But you know, we do recognize that it's challenging for children, and some of them may shut down. Some may ask for help, and that's what we're going for and trying to teach them that independence and request what they need. Others are going to push through it, and then some engage in behaviors. So question 4, what you do when your child is, when you're frustrated with your child's academic performance. We're hoping that with this question towards the end of the next slide will give you some tips to kind of help manage this entire environment. But in response to the question, 39% said just keep pushing through, 30% said ask for help, and then 18% was a combined response of answers. And the last question regarding the attention span during virtual learning, 45% said it varied from day to day, 27% said it was good, 18% said average, and 10% has said that the child has excellent attention span during virtual learning. Eight tips to help your child focus and stay engaged during distance learning. First, we'll start with understanding the expectations for distance learning. Make sure that you talk with your child's classroom teacher and school staff, related service providers, to just kind of get a better understanding of what the expectations are around distance learning. It is different. And in fact, even though we did this in the spring and some participated during the summer months, the fall is different. You're going to see a more robust offering of programming. So just talk with them and kind of get an understanding of what it is that you should be expecting as we move forward and what is expected of your child. Also determine what types of activities best work for your child. And doing this, of course, it will allow you to be able to know where you're going to have to lend support and where you're going to have to ask the teachers for more support. Don't be afraid to reach out to the school because they are the experts and they're willing to help you, and they want to make this easier as we move forward with implementing virtual learning. Encourage movements. For most of our kids, they're going to need to have that movement break. It will help them with focusing. It will restart their engine. And also it'll just give them a break from sitting in front of the computer all day. Reduce distractions. Of course, it's very easy for many of our kids to be distracted. So the things that you want to avoid is the radio playing in the background, the TV playing, others running and things of that nature as much as possible. We know that they are at home and some things will occur, but the more you can reduce distractions, the better off the child will be in terms of focusing and being available to receive instruction. Also, adjust your schedule as needed. Give yourself a break. If you need to take some time, if you need to work on the schedule and your child's schedule, again, reach out to the school. There's some flexibility. They'll be able to help and assist you. Use a checklist for focusing. You can use a checklist for focusing, just a checklist of the schedule, what the child is going to be receiving during the day. And at the end of each course or at the end of each activity, the child can actually cross it out, and they'll let them know they're getting closer to the end of the day or closer to their break. Again, give your child and yourself a break. The days are going to be a bit longer than what was going on in the past. And so you'll actually need to take a break, recharge, take that walk, and refocus. Also, provide immediate positive feedback. That's going to be key in terms of motivating kids to continue to engage in the distance learning. What if my child is struggling? The first thing you want to do is reassess the designated workplace. You may need to relocate to cut down on potential distractions, or you may just need to do things, dim the lighting. You may need to reposition. This may help with focusing students. Review the current schedule. It may be better if there's some flexibility to allow students to do an activity more in the morning than in the afternoon. You can work with your teachers regarding that. Schedule breaks, schedule activities, and also schedule time away from the computer. Also, find or create a a support network. Someone you can talk to, someone that you could lean on. Also, there may be other parents of children in your school, and the kids can get together on another Zoom call, on another platform, and actually complete their homework together. Don't forget to talk to your child's teacher. They will be key in helping you actually understand what the expectations are and ensuring that the kids actually get what they need. Reach out to your child's administrator at the school if you have any concerns. Also, contact your non-public specialist. They'll definitely help you in terms of the IEP process. And also, if there's some concerns you want them to help you with in regards to the school, they can help you with that as well. You can request the IEP meeting if needed. You can also contact our Family Support Center. General communication. For PGCPS to receive general communication, you can go to our homepage and you can sign up for email blasts and text message alerts. This provides general information about things that are going on throughout Prince George's County Public Schools. You'll get information about different programs, information about scholarship opportunities. You also get information about opening and closing. Again, you can go right to the homepage. Towards the bottom, there's a link for you to sign up for to receive these communications. In regard to the non-public office, we communicate with our schools and parents similar to the way that it's communicated in the public school system. So generally it's the PGCPS website, then parents can opt into the email and text alerts. And then other things are sent by memorandum or letter through the child's service school or local school. When you look at the non-public office, we share information similarly. We share systemic communications with the school to distribute to our parents. And we also use mail to disseminate letters and memorandums to parents as well. Again, if there's something you feel you need to know or something you have a concern with, please contact your non-public specialist. Coming soon. Coming soon, there'll be a non-public parent night. Some of the topics that we typically cover in parent night is graduation requirement, community connections, behavioral support, community-based mental health supports, and we cover many other topics, transition and sometimes scholarships information if available at the time in which we're having the parent night. This will be done this year on or before October 16, 2020. But we welcome you to actually be a part of parent night and get as much information as you can. And also typically at parent night, we survey to see if there are any other things that you would like to know about, and we'll continue to provide that information. If you would like to be part of the non-public email blast, in the chat box, the link will be posted for you to sign up for the email blast. It'll give you more information about parent night and any other event that is taking place with Prince George's County Public Schools non-public office. Registration. Prince George's County is providing online registration. So if you have had an address change or you are new to non-public, you can go online to the link that's listed here and complete registration. If you're having any difficulty with registration, you may contact Ms. Judd. Her email is posted there. Email would be the best way, of course, of contacting us during this time. But again, the office is open and we are in the office on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Ms. Judd would gladly assist you in getting registered. Transportation. The Department of Special Education recommends transporting students to non-public day schools. Subject to this recommendation, we've looked at input from the CDC, MSDE, Prince George's County Department of Health Services, and Prince George's County Department of Health. This recommendation is based on the school system's obligation to provide a free and appropriate public education. PGCPS Health Services has consulted Prince George's County Health Department regarding the transport of students with disabilities. Specific guidelines for transporting students will be provided as soon as the consultation with the Prince George's County Health Department has concluded. This slide gives you contact information for the non-public supervisor as well as the non-public specialist. Their emails address are listed. Again, during this time, contacting your non-public specialist by email is the better way to actually contact them, but the office is open on Mondays and Wednesdays, and you can give us a call then. Again, case management letters are being mailed out, and you can access that. The case management letter will give you information on how to contact your case manager. We know that you may have many questions as we navigate through this new way of learning. The Department of Special Education has created a who you can call document. You can link to this document directly from the slide. It will provide you contact information for various special education offices based on the concerns or questions that you may have. We would really like to thank you for participating in this session. We're going to take this time to take another brief poll.
All right, we know you may have some additional questions. In the chat box, I did post a link that will allow you to fill out a form to post your questions, as well as sign up for the non-public office distribution list. We did want to tell you a little bit about our Family Support Center and the services that are offered, and my colleagues there. We do offer assistance with understanding the IEP process, access to disability-specific workshops and fairs and conferences. As Ms. Bowman referenced, we do have 2 more in our virtual distance learning series that is going to be presented. We have one pre-recorded that'll be available on some distance learning etiquette protocols on the 25th, and we have a live on the 27th on creating spaces for distance learning within the home. And then we are going to have a series of workshops in September as well. So be on the lookout on the PGCPS website for those. We do provide assistance with preparing for your child's annual review. We have a lending library and a computer lab. Those are kind of on hold right now because we're really not in the office. But when we do get to come back to the office physically, those are things that are accessible. We provide assistance with understanding how to resolve disagreements. The parent guide that Ms. Bowman referenced will have that in it as well. And lots of referrals to different community resources. So our staff, Dr. Jayate is an instructional specialist and she's in our office. Myself, Cointa Velarde Hernandez, who is our parent outreach liaison, and she answers questions and is able to speak to folks in Spanish as well. And I think Ms. Bowman referenced this at the beginning, but we are very excited to welcome Ms. Yvette Young as our new social worker in our Family Support Center. So thank you for attending our webinar tonight. We do have a YouTube channel that is on our website, pgcps.org/special-education and the Family Support Center. Within 24 hours, we should have the recording of this presentation up on that website. And you'll also be able to access everything from our virtual conference series in the spring and our previous recording this week and last week for general tips for distance learning. So thank you very much for attending tonight. Again, in the chat, there is a link to put in all of the questions you have or sign up for that email distribution list. And if you have any other questions, you can put them in the chat.